Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the Community Live Stream. This is the show that takes you behind the answers, the questions, the problems that people have with ServiceNow, post them on the community, and I am figuring out where's the rest of my chat? I must have this in a strange view. There we go. My name is Chuck Tomasi, fumbling my way through this. I am the ServiceNow guy with the cool bow tie coming to you. This is Tuesday, November 20th, 2018, and this is the Community Live Stream. Again, I take you through the scenarios that people post on the community. We'll get to that in just a second. I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching live. Thank you very much. Give me a shout out where you're from, where you are, how's the weather, what time of day it is. You never know with this show. It's all over the place. This is completely unscripted, and I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, get the notifications when the live stream goes, and it may look something like that, which just came up right as I turned it on. It's also telling me in Twitch. Hit that key. Twitch, we also stream over there, so if you're watching there, thank you very much. I know several of you do that over the last year. This is our 1 year anniversary. It has been 1 year. There, special desk bell just for that. 1 year anniversary of doing the community live stream. It was launched on November 20th. I'm going to do something fun as soon as I get through the pre-roll here. So thank you very much for all of that. If you've got more than just a hey, how are you in the chat, certainly let me know where you are, where you're from. You want to say hi, I'll give you a shout out back to that. But if you got more, if you got questions about the community, I encourage you to post them in the community over at community.servicenow.com so that you can get the more eyeballs on this thing. You get the subject matter experts that are involved. Good morning, Trithendra. Oh, whew, sorry. Good morning from, hope I said that even close. From Texas. Don't know if I've had anybody from Texas yet. First one of the morning. Thank you very much for signing in and watching. I know it's early for many of you, and I appreciate it that you make this part of your day. We've got a regular crew that shows up. I expect to see some of those people. Come on, you know who you are. Tomasz, good to see you from Poland. Get some new names, new locations on the map. That's awesome. Be sure when you do post in the community that you've got one question per post, posted in the right area. There are different sub-forums in there. So if you've got a question on GRC, put that in the GRC area. If you've got a question about scripting, put it in the developer area. That way you get the best chance of your subject matter experts reaching you and you reaching them. So we'll keep going on. This is the first episode of the week. I apologize. Mondays are always a little rough. We do another podcast on Sunday nights, and sometimes it goes late, and it makes Monday mornings a little rough. And I don't want to give you, good morning. No, not one of those. This is done at 1 p.m. UTC, which is 6 a.m. for me, always and always, because UTC doesn't change and Arizona time doesn't change. So when you guys change your clocks back, you're going to have to get up an hour earlier to see this live. But that's okay. I appreciate it very much. Or if you're in Australia, maybe you might even catch it before you go to bed. Good morning, Shaikh from India. All right. We're catching the India people at the end of their day before they go to bed. Quick rules about not rules, more of guidelines about the community. Again, one question per post. Provide some context. Let the person know, if you're posting this in the community, let them know what you're trying to do. What are the requirements? What's the business requirement? Not just, hey, how come my script doesn't work? Let us know what the script is supposed to do. I want to get this record from that record. I want a dot walk over here. Something's not working. If you let us know the business requirements, then we can potentially provide the correct or better answer than what you were after. You say, you know what, you could do this whole thing without script. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I know I've been told that a number of times. So get that going. If you've been around the community for a while, then consider turning some of those common discussions or things you've recently learned into a blog post. You do get points, you do get credit, you do get good stuff out of that. So I encourage you, post your content and don't be afraid to defer when necessary. There is customer support that can answer, that can log into these customer instances and provide that extra layer of support that sometimes isn't always available in the community. Community is a great place. Lots of great subject matter experts. I've been doing online communities probably coming up on 20 years and maybe even longer. Well, if you want to get down to it, I've been doing communities for over 30 years, if you count bulletin board systems. BBS is back in the 80s. Those are a form of community, not quite the support that we have now and not quite the immediacy, but very much an online community, an online forum. And I got to tell you, the ServiceNow one is the best one yet. It doesn't get any better than this. All right, on with the developer community. I don't have the right screen up there. Let's do that. The developer portal, is at developer.servicenow.com. Get yourself a free developer instance where you can run and load and test and burn things down and set them back up all you want. We were doing that yesterday. It was a whole lot of fun and great learning experience in a very safe environment. So developer.servicenow.com to get your free personal developer instance, as well as the CreatorCon Challenge, where you could win $250,000 for coming up with the next great app that you can build your business on. If you want to build a business around a ServiceNow application or suite of applications, register for the CreatorCon Challenge. I don't know why my little scroller thing here isn't working. Let's see if we can get that going manually. We've got the developer YouTube channel where there's lots of great content Friday afternoons. Probably not this Friday. It's a holiday in the U.S., day after Thanksgiving. Many of us often refer to it as Black Friday. I don't go out shopping on Black Friday. That's just me. There's the developer instance. There's the CreatorCon Challenge for $250,000 is the first prize. And then, of course, we've got the developer meetups and other meetups available. If we go to meetup.com, I already had that available. We can get the subtitle in there, or if we get the right keyboard. There we go. Developer meetups, what are we up to? 50 chapters. We're over 13,000 members. This is a little over 2 years old. So great growth, and we're looking for more. So 13,000 members. I will be in Tampa Bay for the meetup on the 4th, be in Las Vegas next week for the meetup on the 27th. So hope to see you at some of those meetups. We also have other meetups that I encourage you. There's the Las Vegas one on the 27th. We've got Calgary on the 21st, which is tomorrow night. Be sure to say hi to Frank if you're there. Frank Schuster, former colleague and teammate of mine. We worked on many great projects. December 13th in San Antonio. December 13th also in Oklahoma City. If there isn't a meetup in your area, I encourage you to go reach out to us. Let us know that you'd like to start one, and we'll help you get that started. All you got to do is pick a venue, pick a topic. You can let the other people pick a topic. This is not a ServiceNow event. This is a developer event that ServiceNow supports. So, good morning, John. Good to see you. We have the cup of tea ready to go. And we are almost done with the pre-roll. Where was I? That was the meetups. We have other events available over at servicenow.com/events.html. So if you're looking for a SNUG, a ServiceNow user group, you're looking for webinars, you're looking for conferences, there's more information to be had over there. Also, registration has opened up for Knowledge. It is May 5th through 9th in Las Vegas. You can go to knowledge.servicenow.com and click the register button, get yourself registered. Call for papers is also open. Call for speakers. I don't know who came up with this, but it's happening. You can get that over at the URL you see there, servicenowevents.com, blah, 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 CFP. If you want to present at Knowledge and potentially get yourself a free pass, that would be one way to do it. Submit a paper on a topic that you're passionate about, that you've learned about, things you've implemented in your organization. And we will review, give you hints on how to make that abstract as sharp as it can be to attract people to your session. It's a wonderful experience. You can get recognized in your community as a leader in that subject. I got to tell you, this is volunteering to do speaker presentations was a big part of my career path in the last 15 years. So I encourage you, I invite you. It's also a great way at Knowledge, of course, to meet other people, get your network built out, get information share information to and from other people on what you've implemented and how they're doing their implementation, where they are on their journey. And, hey, I haven't tried that application yet. What do you find out about that? I found out about this cool utility from the share section on the developer portal. That's the kind of stuff you're going to get at Knowledge. It's a community in real life. And it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's a wonderful thing. Encourage you to go to Knowledge and get that. We are about to talk about the Customer Success Center over at servicenow.com/success. Wherever you are on your ServiceNow journey, make sure you stop by there. Whether you're just starting out and want to know how to implement an effective CMDB, or you've been doing this for years and you want to know how to make your upgrades go faster, you can find that at servicenow.com/success. Lots of great best practices, lots of great implementation tips, lots of good stuff. This is a central clearinghouse, central repository for that information that you can find about your ServiceNow journey. And it's always being updated, always being revised. Good morning, Steve. Good to see you. Happy anniversary. This is the 1-year anniversary of the community live stream. We made it 1 year, 152 episodes, and nearly 20,000 views on YouTube. I am happy about that, and it wouldn't have worked if you guys hadn't been here to help me out. It's not much of a live stream if nobody's watching. So another great harebrained experience come to fruition, and we're going to have a little fun with that in just a minute. Any code that I write today, let's go to that. Any code that I write today will be available on the URL you see right there. The bit.ly link will take you to GitHub. That is a personal repo that I've set up so that if you see code on here and you want to try it out, you don't have to squint at the screen, type it in. You can copy and paste, modify, do what you wish from there. So, good morning, Carolyn. Good to have you. Steve says he's seen about 80 of them, so about half. I'd probably agree with that. I think you've probably been here for more than half, Steve. Good morning, Shawty. Good to see you back. All right, I had an idea. And I'm going to see if I can find this real quick. Let me bring up my live screen, and I might have to mute for this one. Let's mute. I'm going to go to the ServiceNow community. This is something I thought of a couple of weeks ago as we were approaching our 1-year anniversary, and say, what has changed? Actually, you know what? I've got it right here. What has changed since 2017, in the last year? Here is the video from 1 year ago today. And you can see there's been a number of things. First of all, boom. Okay. the number of things. You can tell just by looking at that screen what has changed. The bow tie, obviously. There's no more black shirt. So the corporate branding has changed. The community software has changed. If you've got ideas or suggestions that you can spot in this video, or you've been watching for a while, you go, oh, wow, I forgot about that. This is the time to have some fun and go, oh, huh. Okay, so a lot of things have changed. The wiki is no more. Remember the wiki? The wiki was around a year ago. It was phased out, shut down, redirected, whatever you want to call it, in December of 2017. So in November, we still had a wiki. Wiki.servicenow.com was still there. So a lot of fun there. Obviously, you can see the branding and the wardrobe have changed. I'm now doing the green theme, along with several other variants that are on the PowerPoint slide we use as our template, the purples and the blues, and let's see where else go that. The production has changed from just turning on the camera and talking. There's now an intro. There's now knowledge information about the developer site, knowledge, other videos, the community, Twitch and YouTube. There's some production value that's been added to this. There's live Q&A that we've got going back and forth in the chat. I got to make that window just a little smaller. Can't quite see everything I want on here. I think a couple more monitors have been added since we did that. We missed the red bow tie. I'll bring back the red bow tie like on a Throwback Thursday. How's that? I do it every once in a while. I got to figure out what shirt it goes with. It probably goes with one of the blues, but blue is tricky. Oddly enough, blue is trickier on the green screen than green is on the green screen, for whatever reason that is. We've got the inbox follow-up. So as I go through and I get things in the inbox, I think there's a couple in there right now. We've got a follow-up in the inbox that I do. So that's fun as well. What I learned topic. So there's more of a show format and production quality than there was. The original idea was, hey, I'm doing the community 1 to 2 hours a day anyway. Why don't I just turn on the camera? And that's how it started. But it had to evolve into a show format to maintain interest and to maintain quality. So that was fun. I spend a little bit more time planning the night before or the hour before the show starts, getting into it, saying what would make good show topics for you, because sometimes I'd get into a rabbit hole and it didn't make for good viewing. We want it to be educational as well as a little bit entertaining to keep going with that. So that's changed. Show notes. I didn't start with any show notes. When you see the Google links, that's where I keep my ideas for upcoming shows, as well as what we covered in the past show. There is a whole new app that didn't exist. I didn't start with an app. It came out of necessity. I said, I need a way to change. I need a way to engage this. I need to integrate with YouTube and LinkedIn and make the post-production easier. Because originally there wasn't a whole lot of post-production. As I stopped, it was like, barely gave the show a title. There's descriptions on the YouTube with a link. There's the GitHub repo. A lot of this was born out of the feedback you gave me, and I really, really appreciate that. That you said, hey, can you make these code segments available in the public? So I think it was June or July. Somebody said, can you post your code? I said, yes, I can. That's easy. It was one more step to do in the post-production step, but it was it added value. And again, part of that community feedback that we get. A lot of good stuff. We've had 2 releases of software since November of 2017. Kingston came out first on the developer portal, on the developer instances, and then later to the production in January of 2018. What year is this? 2018. And then, of course, we had Kingston in September that was made available. But, of course, you always get these a little early. If you sign up for the developer program, you can poke around with them on your personal developer instances, usually 6 to sometimes 8 weeks before the general availability release. We've got an early availability on the personal developer instances. So keep your eye for that. Let's see, I mentioned the GitHub repo, community post. I didn't used to post back to the community about the community. That was an obvious, woke up one morning and said, yeah, why aren't you doing this? That way you can put in those links to the community articles that you talked about on the community post. Really meta in there. Mentioned the YouTube description with the topic and links to the GitHub repo, etc. The LinkedIn posting did the integration. The show length, I don't know if you can see that, but the first show was 1 hour and 56 minutes. I get it from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And it seemed a bit long, especially given there was there were really no breaks in the middle. I started to put in a mention about knowledge or whatever halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, but 2 hours just didn't feel right. So yes, it has 380 views, and that's because it was the first video on a playlist for probably the first 8 months. No, I took this off, I don't remember when. June. So yeah, about 8 months. It was the first video, so it got those inherent views that a lot of them did. The what hasn't changed? Well, the microphone hasn't changed. I'm still using the same shotgun microphone, although the placement has changed. Let me get that back up there. It's not going to pretend there. It used to be down here, just off camera. Now it's just up there off camera. Why? Because I would bump it. As I'm moving from keyboard to keyboard, there's a lot of hand motion going on just below here that most of you don't see. So I moved it up there. More like a stage now. Ooh, what else? My glasses haven't changed. And every time the browser is slow browser, take a drink. That hasn't changed either. So that's just some fun I wanted to cover with you of what's changed in the last year. I look forward to doing this for another year, God willing, and everything else happening just right, because this is still a labor of love. I do this because I want to. It's not something somebody assigned to me and said, hey, Chuck, why don't you do this? It is truly a passion that I have for you, for the software, for sharing, for learning. It's all about that. And that's why I get up in the morning. This is just a wonderful, wonderful experience that I truly enjoy, and I enjoy you being part of that. The journey we've had over the last year, and even longer if you're a Tech Now viewer, then you know many, many, many more things have changed. One thing that I did not mention, and I haven't publicized this too big, is the fact that in the last year, I've had some time offs for personal vacation or company trips. If I've got to go to Europe, obviously I'm not doing the live stream, and you guys keep watching that. Thank you very much. But I did have an outage in February, late February, early March, for a personal matter, and I didn't let you know what that was all about. I actually was in early January of 2018. I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had surgery in February, took a couple of weeks off, and I've come back, and I can say that I am now cancer-free. So I am truly, all the more reason to be happy here, happy that I am here and doing this show for you, is that we caught that early, we got it knocked out, and life goes on. So that's another reason to get out of bed in the morning, isn't it? Just a wonderful thing. Let's do what we came here to do, shall we? Let's go to the community. Oh, that tea is just the right drinking temperature. It's a good thing. Do a quick refresh on this and start answering some questions. It feels like missing a day on Monday makes it feel like it's been forever since I did this. Actually, I missed Friday, too. Friday I was in Santa Clara making a video and working on a project for some analysts. So it's been a rather busy week. I think the last time I talked to you was Thursday. Whoop. I did not want to make that screen full screen. Now I can't see anything. Maybe I can just close that window. There we go. All right. Bit of a finger boo-boo on there. Let's bring that up. How to filter business rules on project form based on assignment group. In the ITSM group. Let's take a look. I take a look at everything, or many things. I don't necessarily answer everything, and it's not because I don't like you. It's because I don't have expertise in that area. I will try to help wherever possible. I will get engaged. I will even follow some things that I say, hey, that's interesting. I might want to learn something. My specialty is in the platform, custom applications and integrations in particular, and that's where I generally tend to focus my assistance. And that's the beauty of this community, is you've got lots of subject matter experts out there. Thanks, Steve. It's good to be here. Good to be here. How to filter business rules on project form based on assignment group. Hello! On a project form, we have a field business unit. When you search for it, it displays listed business units. We want display only those business units which are inherited to user's user record. Example, if user ABC has a department IT, and under department table, we see business unit field. If the business unit is IT, then on the project form, it should only display as IT and not other fields. If user XYZ has a department sales, and under that department table, we see business unit sales field, then the user selects the business unit on the project form. It should display only sales as a business unit. Hard to know exactly what the data model looks like. We know that they've got sysuser has a department that's built in. The department field points to the table, CMN department, and they've added a business unit field to department. So we could dot walk to that information, but I don't know exactly what their business unit we have on the project form points to. It must be the same table. It must be like a business unit table, and you could build a reference qualifier. I started with ACL and reference qualifier, but it fails in the try. Could you please share what you have built so far? Could you please share what you have built so far? My instinct and experience tell me that a reference qualifier is what you need. The devil is in the details. Field names and table names would definitely help. Okay. I get the relationship between the current user's department and business unit, but I don't know where until came out, but I don't know what the business unit field on CMN department is. Is it a reference to something? Is that the same something that your project form is pointing to? There's one. Second bell of the day, because we gave ourselves a bell for the first anniversary. Maybe if we're lucky someday I'll look up and go, I've been doing this video for 20 years. Man, that would be something, wouldn't it? I've only been at ServiceNow for 8. Someday I might retire. Not as long as I'm having fun and getting paid for it and getting insurance. Event management integrations from SCOM to ServiceNow. That should really go in ITOM. Just saying, if you want to get more visibility, it should go in ITOM. Event management is part of IT operations management. Add current logged user to notification/email template. That I have an idea on. Okay, is it possible to add an email body, to add to an email body the currently logged in user's name and location? Dear caller, first name, blah, 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 currently logged in user, currently logged in location. We have 2 replies on this. You can do something in a mail script. Try something like mail script. This is the old format of doing a mail script, and if you're using the default version 2 mail bodies, this is not supported. So you could do, you'd have to know what current is. That's current caller, assuming you're on an wow, okay. You might want to do a gs.getUser on that thing first. It's possible, but I can't get the exact requirement. If it's just for a mail signature, then it's better not to add, because we normally send email notifications through the events or workflows. So when you try to see the updated by field, it generally be admin or system, as the events and workflows are processed in the background by ServiceNow. If your requirement is any email client, then you can surely achieve it without difficulty. Yeah, the question is, where is this email being triggered from? Naveen makes a good suggestion, makes a good point. Notifications can be triggered from different locations, including Flow Designer, Workflow, Scheduled jobs, triggered from events or directly from record updates, inserts. A universal approach would require you to evaluate all possible scenarios and ensure they are compliant, so your notification script has at least the sysid of the user who triggered the message. Example, if they are triggered by an event, you can include gs.eventQueue and use the third or fourth argument to pass gs.getUserID. Yeah, okay. However, you may not be in control of all these events. Let's make that a separate sentence. However, you may not be in control of all the events triggered. Let me follow up on that in my developer instance, tell you where I'm going with that. So I know I said it, but let's show it. It's more fun to show. Log into my personal developer instance, again, that I got from developer.servicenow.com. Go over there, get yourself a free personal developer instance. You can follow along. So notifications, we've made considerably easier over the years. Go under the system notification menu, and you've got notifications module. Here are a bunch of notifications, and I can go and create a new notification very, very easily. I'm jumping ahead. We're going to cover notifications in case you haven't seen notifications before. There's a lot of nuances to notifications. Let's call this one CLS demo because I have no better idea. And I will put that on my CLS item table. Now, it's active. I want to make sure it's active. Digest is a feature, I believe it came out in Jakarta or Kingston, that allows you to group messages together on, say, a daily basis. You can define how often that digest is going to come out. So that if you've got a very active thread and you don't want somebody to get 20 emails in a day, you can say, this notification will be digested and send it once a day. So you get this digest of what's happened from that notification. It might be approvals, which would be very handy for, say, an executive who wanted to just say, I only want to see my approvals once a day. I don't want to get approvals every time there's a freaking approval. I want to get one mail that says, please approve this. And then they go approve that. Please approve that. I don't want to, I'll reject that. Okay. Then, of course, we've got this breakdown into when to send, when to receive, and what it will contain. If you click digest, it will get another tab that gives you information about defining that digest. Okay. How to format it, when it's sent, all that kind of stuff. So I can either send, this is a very easy, notifications worked this easy 10 years ago when I started. I love this part. When a record is inserted or updated. So I can say, maybe it's, I only want to send things when there's a new record. I really wish somebody would redo the form layout so that these two are side by side. Why they're split like this doesn't make any sense to me. That's just laziness in my opinion, but oh well. See, I will give you the personal opinions as well. As far as I can go without getting my job in trouble. Then you define a condition. Maybe you want to filter. You don't want it every time a new record is inserted. Maybe you only want the anytime the description contains or description starts with help. Okay, I can filter down. I'm not going to send it unless that contains help or does not contain help. If they don't say help, I'm going to fire a message. So you can add additional conditions using the condition builder, just like you would expect. Then you put who will receive it. You can either define this as hard-coded, like, hey, put Chuck Tomasi in there every time and always. I don't recommend using this field as a general matter of practice. I prefer to make my notifications data-driven. So you could say, hey, let's put who requested it. You can use the data from the requested by. That's who will get it. Or groups. You can, if there's an assignment group or something in there, you can use that. Very simple, very straightforward. Same kind of thing over here with hard-coded groups or groups from the data. You can make it subscribable or unsubscribable. Maybe you don't want people to say, I must have accidentally unsubscribed from that one, so I don't get those messages anymore. And then you got to do a lot of troubleshooting later to go, did you turn that off? Because I'm going to help you turn that back on. Oh, didn't mean to hit that lock again. Apparently, if you hit the space bar, woo, when you've got a field highlighted, it will open it up. One of those accessibility things. Then you get to what it will contain. Now, you can either use a template, which gives you the option of doing some sophisticated formatting and styling to make your brand consistent. You got to use templates if you're going to do that, or you do it the hard way. You could put in, obviously, the subject, and the subject can contain meta characters that represent the fields, $, underscore, number, whatever. That's how we get that information there. Was recently created. In the body of the message, you can put, again, you can use the field chooser, which if my font was smaller and my window was bigger would show up on the right. And you can pick these fields. Maybe we've got description. And it will put out the label and the meta character to get the value for that. So it'll say description, Chuck needs help, which is not too inappropriate. You can also do additional fields. Why they insert above, I don't know, but the cursor stays at the beginning of the line. It just happens that way. So now you can begin to construct the body of your message. If you need to put in a script, the way to do it these days, without turning on the advanced view, is to do mail underscore script colon CLS demo script. You give it the script name. And that says, go find this script and run it and put the output of that into this message. So I can save that and come back to it in just a minute. Now if I go to email script, is that what it was? Notification email scripts, that module, I can create one called CLS demo script. Come on. Thank you. And it gives us this example usage case. I like the code snippets. Read them. Be aware of them. I have access to the current record, the record that was used to trigger this email. I've got access to the template object if I use a template to run this script. I've got access to the outbound email itself, some of the fields that are available there. Again, fully documented on the doc site, docs.servicenow.com. So I go to email notification script. It'll tell you what each of those objects is and what the elements are inside of them. Email notification. Let's find scripting for email notifications. Still has the old title. Love it. Okay, there's the format you added in, and then the API, not the API. Where is it? Mail script API. There it is. Template, event, email. I can add additional addresses via script. I can do a number of things. The event is how you can get your hands on those parameters that are passed in. If it was triggered by an event, this one didn't happen to be. And then, of course, we put in template.print. Okay, that's important. That's our UI, that's our API to get messages out of here into the mail body. And if you want to put HTML in, you can, but I'm just going to put hello world. That's my simple demo script, as lame as it is. Let's go back to recent records and get my CLS demo notification. And now that I've defined it, I have a preview up here that lets me preview what it looks like. And here is my hello world script text injected right into the body. So to get to their answer, I need to be able to pass that information about perhaps the event creator. So what I would really need is if this is triggered interactively, not from a scheduled job, not from a workflow, but interactively, I could go to my email script, get my more recent one. Can I sort by? No. That starts with CLS, and I could use the event, but I don't have the event contains, if you look, glide record object for the event that's fired this notification. So somewhere in there is sys event. And if I look through my log and say, where's the sys event that triggered this notification? It really didn't. But yeah, that's the tricky part, is I would have to change this from an inserted to event was triggered and then trigger that event from a script. So that's the tricky part. If I could get my hands on that, what it would look like is var user ID, for example, event.parm1.toString. I would get my hands on the user ID if, who formatted this thing? Stop that. Who formatted that thing? Select all, Shift Tab. There we are. A little crazy, but it'll look better if I do that. Not better, but I've got my hands on the user ID. Again, assuming I did a gs.eventQ, event name, glide record, parm1, parm2. This is parm1. I could put in parm1 gs.getUserID and say, here, have the user ID of the person who is currently at the keyboard, pass that through the event queue, and then I can get my hands on it here. From that, I could do var user gr equals new glide record, right? We've all seen this before. Simple glide record to get my hands on a record. If user gr.get user ID, I'm going to have to put this in a script somewhere because I told you I'd share your script for you. Then I could do template.print, okay, last logged in, blah, blah, blah. Logged in user is plus user gr.get display value. Okay, and the location would be .walk to their location. So that would be one way to do it. I'm apparently missing a semicolon up there. And put that in. We could try it, see what happens without an event-driven notification. Let's go back to my notification, hit preview, and I don't expect this to work, to be honest. Oh, apparently it does. It knows that the event creator was me, so it's somehow using that. Interesting. I'm curious to see what the event log has. Event log. Does it generate one for the test mail? User view, text index, glide heartbeat. That's fascinating. It's doing this all without the event engine. Cool. So yeah, you could test that, but again, if it comes to the production email, is it passing the user ID as parm1? I don't know. So that's a little bit more about notifications. Yes, you could do it, but is it going to work always? You better find out, because some of those notifications are being generated from different places. The ones that are built from workflow activities, the notification activity, are completely separate. They're not going through this process that I just showed you, which is why one reason I encourage you on workflows to use the generate event activity rather than the notification. You can manage all of your notifications right from here. Okay, that centralizes your management. Flow Designer doesn't have a way to do this yet. Okay, I'm working on a way to do that. I'm trying to work with the Flow Designer product manager to get them to have some way to generate an event. I know it's not a typical thing that your no-code business users use, but boy, howdy, it'd be nice to be able to trigger an event, because the notifications in Flow Designer, they don't have that meta string. Everything is sort of hard-coded. We don't have a way to put it. We can put in data pills to substitute record data in there, but there's no like $_ or a $ curly brace URI_ref to say, here's a link to the record I was just working on. I'm like, oh, I kind of missed that. Can we get a default data pill for the email action to do that? That would be nice, wouldn't it? So that was one question. They probably had a reply since then. You can achieve this in a case-by-case basis by adjusting the notification and its trigger by inserting an automatically comment to the business rule. Yeah, we kind of covered that. It is 1:45. I know we took a lot of time on that reminiscing part. Let me open up the email inbox and see what replies are in here. I had a couple conversations going before I rolled the camera. Can I hide a tab using a UI policy? Yes, you can. I don't recommend doing it this way with the display equals block, display equals none. There was another way that I discovered that worked really well to actually select and hide a block. And I put that, Where did I put that? I thought it was in this thread. Did I or did I not? Yeah. I said, set section display is a better method. When you've got a chance, the answer that was marked correct here, the issue I have is this is getting a little too into the weeds on DOM manipulation. Okay, it's not technically manipulating the DOM, but if we were to change the DOM and say style.display or something, it went to a different approach, this would fail. Okay? If you stick with the GForm methods, the API, then it's up to us to keep that API compatible with whatever UI you're looking at. Whether it's mobile, whether it's made from Jelly, whether it's made from AngularJS, whether it's made from React, I don't even know what tomorrow will bring, but it's up to us to keep those APIs compatible. If you're not using the APIs, you're taking a risk on upgrades. So that's why I said stick with the set section display. Use that. There's lots of other methods in GForm to use sections. One that I found handy was in the application that runs this show, and I had to do a little research for this one. It was select a section, and if I go to Studio, at certain points in the process, where's my community live stream app? There it is. Certain points in the process, I want to select a section in the form. So the form looks like this. If I go to my episode record and I pick up, come on, I clicked it. Pick up the list. There we are. Oh, that's a Tech Now record, but that's okay. I'm currently in the collection. If this was a community live stream, you know what I'm looking for. And it tells me a couple of instructions that I need to do. Then when it gets to the community part, I've gathered up the links that we shared today. I've pasted them in here. I've generated the content. Now I want to post that back to the community. It auto-generates the community content and selects this tab for me, so all I have to do is copy and paste. It's just a little less scrolling and tab and go here and do that, that kind of information. That comes from a method in this client script called gtabs2sections set active, and you set it by number. So what I need to do is find out, first of all, what state am I in? There's various phases of this process that I go through, and I hard-coded that, but I could have pulled that out from anywhere, maybe the process flow formatter table, who knows. Then I get the value of the state, which is going to be one of these values, and align that to 0, 1, 2, or 3. So if I'm in state community, that's value 1, it will set the active section. Tabs are sections. Okay. They originally were called sections in the form because they were delineated vertically. Then we made them collapsible into tabs. You can still see this if you go into your forms. I'm not going to get into that right now. But that's what sets this. And then, of course, once I set the first one, I get out. I don't need any others. There's just no way this is going to match more than one value. Break is a nice way to say, throw me out of this loop. I'm done. All right, so that's gtabs2sections. I don't know anywhere where that's documented. I had to find that in the community. Let me do a quick search for you. First we will search here. What was it? gtabs2sections set active? I can't remember. G_tabs2sections. I'm going to copy that. Programmer's best friend, as Dave Slusher likes to say. Search for that, and it doesn't have anything. On the developer portal, if I search for it, I get a few community posts, and that's it. Yet another API that's not documented. So if it's not documented, you can only trust it as far as you can throw it. And that would be not very far, because I can't throw APIs. We have another inbox response. Where are we going? Oh, we had several of them. I hadn't refreshed my screen in a while. Add current logged in user. Andrew Barnes responded to this with good response. I like his little comic avatar. Unable to delete a group with the script. Vinath Kumar marked this as helpful. So the discussion earlier was, hey, I've got a form that has a variable on it. I want to use the variable to pull an incident. The incident has assignment group. I want to make that deactivated. Whatever this case was, I reformatted this a little bit. And the first thing I notice is they're going to the incident table, and they're getting a variable called grName, which apparently somebody's typing in a name. I don't know if this is a reference field or a string field, but then it must be a reference field because they're getting the display value from that. Logging it as group name is, who knows, service desk. Then doing an add query on incident against a name on the sysid. Sysids are not names. There's warning bell number 1. Okay, you're using a display value against a sysid to get an incident record. If it's a group name, you're not going to get anything. This is going to fail. Okay, I collapsed that down into one single query and said, you know what? This part makes a little bit more sense. They're doing the sysid. They're using the same variable, grName, get display value, then doing a query to get that variable. Again, this could all be concatenated a little, or crushed down a little smaller to say, look, if you can get, it's like, why are we using display values to do queries? Stick with sysids. They're indexed. They're faster. They're the primary key for getting records from a table. So I brought that down. But this one I said, I'm assuming this is an incident sysid, but if it is, you're using the same thing down here to get a different record. This isn't going to align. This part needs fixing. So that was my comment, and they marked it helpful. We'll see what comes back with a correct answer. Let me know how that goes. Problems with updating queried records in a while if loop. Another section of code somebody wanted to take a look at. We've got an encoded query on the SC task table. That's the catalog items. So when you've got a request item and you're going through those tasks, it's doing it says, I want the correlation ID like pending and assignment group is hard-coded to a sysid. I'm going to let that one slide for this example. They go get a query, and then they go get all the task records that match that query. From here, they go to a custom table, CMS transaction, and do another query to say all the ones that are related to that task that have a type of delivery note. But then they do an if. And I said, okay, you're getting one record and only one record. Maybe only one matches. Maybe they only want to modify this. But the question says, the problem is when there are more than one delivery note per request, it doesn't reprocess the second delivery note because it's an if. So I said, you might want to change that if to a while so that it gets all the records in that. And we have a reply that says, with the while loop, now I get even more records in my query, but I still only get one delivery note is reprocessed. Okay, the delivery notes I assume are on the RCMS transaction? Yes? No? Request is task.request is going to point to the request record. Okay. I would put in a log statement that says how many records did you retrieve right after that query. Okay. As a debug statement, I would add right after the rcms.query, I think it was RCMS, right? Somebody check me on that? Yes. Statement. Something like this. Get my little code snippeter up here. Put some JavaScript in here. gs.info rcms rcms.get row count records read from RCMS transaction. There, we'll just put that. That'll be fine. Make it a little smaller so I get my OK. Make it a little bigger so you get your readability back. That will tell you if your query is right or wrong. If it's wrong, check the add query statements closely. Are the U underscore fields correct? Are the values you are sending to them correct? Do you want task.request, the parent of the parent, All these things can cause your query to go awry. Gotta get them right. Gotta get them right. I think that's it for the inbox. That was fun. Oh, here. Several more answers. Is my bell not working? Oh, I muted the channel. That's why. Because that YouTube video was coming up. All right. Here, we have some catching up to do. Nah, I won't do that to you. Okay, a few more minutes left. Let's see what's in the back of my brain for notes. We already covered the walkthrough history. Mail scripts. How about that? We did some mail scripts. Hadn't planned on that one today. Building a virtual agent conversation. I'm going to refer you back to Tech Now episode 58, which I just posted yesterday, now that it's officially up on the community. You can go to the Tech Now index very, very easily with bit.ly/ServiceNow-TechNow. And get to that index. Episode 58 is going to be at the bottom. This is the complete history of all the Tech Now episodes we have done in the past nearly 6 years. And down here on number 58, 59 will soon be showing up around agent intelligence, is the link to the article with the video, with Stacy's write-up in here about the lessons she learned. Great information in there. Videos available on YouTube, this same channel. So if you subscribe to the ServiceNow community, YouTube channel, you'll get that as well. So she did a great job. I'm not going to build one here. I need to build one today for a demo, but I'm not going to build that one in front of you because it's already apparently scripted out, but working with some colleagues on that. The other thing that was on my mind for today, processors. I got to think about what I want to cover for that. I don't have a use case right now. Processors are useful, but I find that I often just jump to scripted REST APIs to replace those first. Processors do have a purpose. I'm just trying to find out in my head so I can articulate what's different about that. And then we've been working on simple flow designer actions. We talked about triggering events for say mail notifications. That one's tough because we don't have the right field type available to our action to allow any record. When you pick a record, then the table thing comes up. Those are specific to Flow Designer, and when I build actions, I don't have access to that. I've got access to a lot of simple types like dates and strings and reference fields. And a reference field says, hey, tell me what table you want to point to. But these, almost like a document ID field, isn't available yet in Flow Designer actions. So that one has to remain on hold. I am still looking through my use cases for where I may want to build some custom actions in Flow Designer for those simple things like incrementing a record, or incrementing a field count, or decrementing a field count. Those I have posted and published. I believe they're in the code segment somewhere. Oh, what I did not do, thank you for reminding me, good old brain, the mail notification script. I did not post that. Email script. I should put that in my editor. CLS%, get that, copy that. Do I still have VS Code up here? No, I did a reboot a couple days ago. Installed some patches. Patches as patches. And thank you once again for helping me get rid of the welcome screen is no longer there. More release notes. Don't need the release notes. Paste, please. Save it as, got to do our housekeeping. Live stream, that's not the right live stream. Folder, silly boy, it's this folder. And we will make a new folder. For today's folder, you will find this code in 2018. Don't rush ahead to 2019 yet, Charles. 11/20, 1 year anniversary. There we go. Sample email script.js. There you go. Save that off. And then this is why I love VS Code. I can say 2018 11/20 script. Commit and sync. It's now out on the portal. So if you're watching live, you can go get available on the GitHub repo, not the portal, the GitHub repo. Maybe someday I'll make an actual portal out of this, but that's where you can find that. So that takes us to the top of the hour. I appreciate you all hanging out here. It has been a wonderful, wonderful past year. Thanks for being part of it. Happy to be here. Look forward to bringing you more in the future. Should be able to do a show tomorrow, all things willing. Debating on Thursday and Friday. Technically, it is a ServiceNow holiday, U.S. holiday for Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. But, you know, what else is anybody doing at 6 a.m. in the morning? And I know that a lot of my audience from EMEA and India are not taking those days off. So I can be here for you. I will try. We'll see what happens. I've got plans later in the day, but not at 6 a.m. All depends on what happens Wednesday night, I guess. Thank you for hanging out with me for another hour. I hope you found this useful, entertaining, something informative. If you did, click the like button on the YouTube video. If you're watching this via the community, click that helpful link. Greatly appreciate that so that other people can find out that there's something useful in here. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful night, as the case may be, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.